This is a warning to all living mortals that on the 13th of December, Moose will release 13 of the most terrifying interviews of horror unto the world.
It's your holiday horror host here, Moose. Take this time and head over to electronicmediacollective.com and catch up on all of our old episodes of Moose's Monster Mash. But come back on December 13th for the start of Moose's 13 Horrifying Days of Christmas. That's right, 13 brand new episodes in the month of December, leading up to our Season 2 premiere. And until then, Horror Hounds, mash on.
The episode which you are about to hear is an account of the horror which befell a small Kentucky town. In particular, the town of Lexington. It is all the more horrifying in that the residents knew what lay in store. But had they lived very, very long lives, they could not have expected, nor would they have wished to see as much of the mad and macabre as they were to see that weekend. For them, an idyllic autumn weekend became a Scarefest. The events of that weekend led to one of the scariest conventions in the annals of American history. Scarefest Weekend 14.
Hey, this is Nick Benson. You're listening to Moose's Monster Mash.
You're listening to Moose's Monster Mash.
Welcome, Horror Hounds, to another all-new episode of Moose's Monster Mash. I'm your host, Moose, and that noise behind me isn't just random sounds. It's the sound of thousands of ghosts and ghouls, monsters, and all forms of the macabre descending onto Lexington, Kentucky for Scarefest Weekend 14. Let's see what it has in store. All right, so I'm here with the Twirling Twins Entertainment ladies. Care to introduce yourself?
I'm Caitlin.
And I'm Abigail.
And you guys are silk acrobatists. So, there's a word.
Yes, aerial acrobatics is kind of the broad term.
Yeah, that word.
Yes, circus, I guess.
Yeah, circus arts or...
So you do a lot of horror conventions, or like is it just like you do a lot of conventions and just kind of theme it wherever you go?
Yeah, it's kind of whatever the theme of the convention is what we do, so...
Like, what other kind of themes do you tend to work around?
We do lots. We do weddings. We've done parties before, corporate events. Kind of
A lot of, like, kids stuff. Like,
Yeah.
we'll do, like, as far as, like, outdoor festivals, like, in the springtime, like, just kids' art festivals and, like,
stuff like that.
that kind of thing.
Oh, nice. And if people wanted to check you out online or, like, say, book you for something, where can they look you ladies up?
We're on Instagram, Twirling Twins Entertainment, TikTok, and then we have a website, but
Yeah.
that's on our Instagram.
You can Google us, too. It's all Google.
So yeah, definitely check these ladies out. It's a hell of a show, and if you see them at your local convention, be sure to stop by and say hi. Okay, so we have Derek with the Deadbolt Mystery Society Murder Mystery Box Company, and just looking at this table, there is a lot of murder mystery boxes. Derek, why don't you tell us a little bit more about it?
So we make murder mystery games, and these are your chance to sit at your kitchen table and solve anything from a paranormal investigation to a serial killer on the loose and everything in between.
So basically, everything you need to have like an escape room in your own home shipped right to you.
Absolutely. We started as an escape room company, so we have a lot of a heavy puzzle-solving component. So it's not just reading a story and making a deduction. You are a part of the journey. So we have embedded audio and video files. We have props, maps, photos, any kind of evidence you can imagine. Everything self-contained in the box.
And I would imagine this isn't just something you can get here at the convention. where can people get these and get them shipped to you? Because there's a lot of experiences that I'm looking at here on the table. I mean, there's trick or treat, lair. I mean, there's many different experiences.
Yep, so you can find us at deadboltmystery.com. We have a monthly subscription service. You can get a brand new box shipped straight to your door. We also have all of our one-time boxes available, so check us out.
You heard it, folks. Check them out. Solve your own mystery.
What would a convention be without panels? Here's Rob Mello, Dave Sheridan, and the folks from Blood Moon Pictures talking about indie films.
Intoxicants.
And we're handling.
Well, while we're waiting on our people to ask
Hey,
this
since we're
question,
talking about independent filmmaking, and then John Carpenter was brought up, a lot of people don't know this, and want to make a movie. John Carpenter will score your movie for $3,000. He's about $3,000 to score your movie. Because right now at his age, all he wants to do is sit at home and make music. Because that's a huge passion. As you know, he scores all his own movies. But you can get John Carpenter for about $3,000. He'll spend a day making your music. Because he's very prolific on those keyboards. And you're going to get the John Carpenter sound, but I'm throwing it out there. He loves to do that. That's what he wants to do nowadays.
so I'm curious, just to get us to keep the conversation going, at what point, what was the bug that bit you? Because we always know that there's not a ton of money in this. There's not always a ton of money in this. So what was it? What got you going? Each one of you, that either that movie or the thing that happened to you in your life that set you down this path?
Poverty. I ain't bullshit. I was working, I was living in Tampa Bay, working 2 jobs. I was cooking at one joint and waiting tables at another, and we were stealing from the water bill to pay the electric bill, and it was just a cyclical route down. And I recognized it ahead of time because I'm Aquarius. And so I had one day, and I'm cruising through Craigslist for, you know, they got sign spinners on the side of the road and shit like that. And I was just like, I gotta find something. And I came across this ad. This guy was looking for actors and extras and shit. And I was like, I was in a couple plays in high school, you know, and it was really fun. And that's just basically, that's the thing that kickstarted. But when I was on set, you know, the very first film I ever did, I was a high school guidance counselor, and I just it was picking up a phone, having a conversation with nobody, and then talking to this kid, and the director afterwards was like, you know, we're having a beverage, and he's like, dude, you might not get rich and famous doing this, but you can pay the fucking bills and not work so hard at life doing it. And I'm like, okay, well, how do I do that? He's like, I don't fucking know. Go figure it out. And so I did. But fortunately, I got a lot of good advice from well-meaning people when I first started. And that's kind of what I try to do now. When people are asking advice, you know, how do you get into it? How do you do that? You're not going to be able to do it the way I did it. But you do have to go to class because it's an art. You have to learn. I mean, you can watch Bob Ross all you want, but you're not going to be able to whip out a fucking painting in a half hour like Bob Ross. That takes years of training and practice and practice.
Isn't that the point of the Bob Ross show, though? You whip it out?
Yeah, no. Well, for me, Bob got me into painting and got me into, you know, really exploring my creativity. So, I mean, I paint, I write, I act, I play the drums. I mean, anything to distract me from the horrors of, you know, normalcy and reality in this horrible fucking place. Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Bob Ross got me into willingness to accept my sharks in my pants as happy accidents.
Bob Ross got me into fucking afros, man.
Enjoy the day.
Bob was awesome. Can we all just say that? Bob was fucking. Bob Ross is a god.
He had great hair.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I mean,
oh wait, this is like a Bob Ross shirt.
I guess with me, it was, I don't know how it started. I was young, and my dad would let me stay up on weekends and watch the Elvira. So there, can you hear me now, sorry. Watch the Elvira's, the late night horror people that showed some of the worst B movies in the world. But I was fascinated by it, not normally by the story or by the scare of it, but the special effects in them really got me hooked on watching horror movies. And as I got older, I continued to watch them. But when Halloween came out, hook, line, and sinker, anything Carpenter does, I'm in love with. So I got into theater. I was doing makeup in the background. I was doing sets. I was acting. I mean, I didn't do the music like you did, but I just started doing a little bit of everything. And I didn't go to school for it, but I did take classes in high school, and I did go to college for it. But I ended up dropping out and not doing that. So I kind of got out of it, and in the later light, still followed horror and started to get back into it. And met this gentleman in my hometown, and I begged him to let me help out, and for 9 years now we've been working together, and I'm learning every day. It's not a class, but it is a class. When I'm on set, I'm still learning. Even though I'm doing the job, I'm still learning what I did wrong last time, how I should be doing it now, and how I should be doing it later. And it stresses me the hell out, but at the same time, I freaking love it. I mean, it's stress I deal with, but I don't think I can do anything else. I mean, we have normal jobs. We're not like these guys that are doing this for a living. I wish we were. It's where we'd like to be, but it's more just a passion of what I want to do. So I deal with the stress, the lack of sleep, and being away from my wife and her being cool about it. But I guess I'm rambling here, but just Halloween is what got me hook, line, and sinker of wanting to do this. And been striving to do it ever since.
Yeah, you definitely need a good support system.
Oh, absolutely.
People that support you and what the thing is that when you see what you want to do, nobody else is going to. You manifest that shit, you put the legwork in, you work your ass off, and it'll happen. And the people that stuck by your side get to enjoy the fucking benefits.
How is the best way to get the script out there to people?
Yeah, so you've written a script and you want to get it out to people. Right.
Network. What you're doing right now. You network with people, you make friends, you work with each other, and people grow comfortable with each other. They say Hollywood's really incestuous for a fucking reason. You know what I mean? You've got to kind of... I'm anticipating you don't want to be... It would be great to be in Hollywood, but no, you just want to get it out. So find like-minded people and connect and get the shit done.
Yeah, I would start within your community and, look on Craigslist or whatever else there is listing for films being shot. Short films,
Facebook's
whatever,
really good.
you meet the director, you meet a producer in the area, and then you work it that way, like you're already doing with the TV show in Richmond, you said, or something. But the good news is with independent film, to get your leg in, there's no better one than horror. Because horror is where 90% of the independent movies are made. There's not a lot of independent comedies being made, even though I do a lot of comedy. I'm in the horror business now because that's where the business of doing it is. I'd like to say one thing about studio films and independent films on the studio level, which I just did. That was a $60 million movie, the Netflix one. That's one where they don't let you in until you prove who you are. But independent filmmaking is everyone gets in until you prove who you are. And then you're kicked out. That guy's an asshole. So you get your shot here and then rock it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like just now, as an aside to him, I was like, dude, while Homeboy was talking, the media whore, while he was yapping, I'm like, dude, I got a script you gotta fucking check out, dude. And,
yeah.
So just connect with people, be your genuine self, and
It's cold over here.
you know what I'm saying?
I don't have a whole lot, much more to offer than what they've told you in terms of advice, but when I started doing this back in 2008 seriously, the resources that are here now, the convention scene that's here now with all the different filmmakers did not exist. So, I mean, it was a complete struggle, but just all the opportunities that exist now is what he was saying.
Back in my day.
Network. Yeah, I know I sounded old there for a second, but Yeah, it's just talk to people. You have to find people. Just do your movie, do your web series, do your project. Get yourself out there because it's a learning process. Most people don't just jump right onto, like making $60 million Netflix. Like, you have to start somewhere. And if you wait around and just try to shop it and just wait and wait and wait, it's the same thing with actors. I know a lot of actors
Yeah, if you wait, it ain't never gonna get fucking made.
Right, and like
do it
these
fucking
actors
now.
who do SAG, but now won't do anything independent. I mean, I know there's penalties and stuff, but there's so many SAG actors that are on an independent level that are sitting around not doing anything, and we know all these other actors that aren't SAG, and they're getting all this experience. That's what it's about. The more experience you get, the better you're gonna get at it.
One way or another, make it happen. And it's 90% sweat and hard work, and your balls are gonna get in the twist. But in the end, when you're done, you can watch it and sit back and say, I fucking did that. You did.
You got to go to the source. Go to the people that are making movies like what you have. You know, you're not going to send a zombie movie to the writer of As the World Turns, like a TV show, like Another World about teenagers. So you see who, wow, I like their work and they're making stuff in my genre, then you take it to them, because that way you're lowering that thing of like, this is a stretch.
Targeted, yeah. What I would suggest is when you're ready, when you feel you're ready, I've written 10,000 fucking scripts, but the one, Tin Roof, I registered it with the WGA, Writers Guild.
Right.
Copyright your shit.
Yeah.
Because Sylvester
That's a good
Stallone
point.
is still getting fucked. Rocky.
Right.
I was born the year Rocky came out. What the hell's going on down there? Oh,
Yeah, so the WGA, the Writers Guild,
They
anybody,
really like
just to let you know, anybody can register
Register your
a script with the Writers Guild. It's about $20.
Yeah,
You don't
and
have to
so
be a
if
part of
somebody
the Writers
steals your shit, you can be like, oh, thank you
Yeah.
for that $50 million. I'll write the next script now.
So I'm walking through the convention and I see this sign. It says "Awesome Space Music," and it dances. So I had to stop. Would you like to tell me more about your awesome space music?
Well, the music might make you feel as though you're in outer space. And if you can, I don't know if you're able to scan the titles here. Our prices are quite reasonable. We're here at Scarefest weekend in Lexington, Kentucky. And like I said, the music might make you feel as though you're in outer space. I'm not the musician actually doing the CDs. I just run the record company. Now, a lot of these discs here that you see, I've arranged to have pressed on my own record label, though there are a couple of titles here that I've procured through like-kind exchanges with other record companies in other countries.
Oh, nice. And what's the name of the record label?
The record label is Horizon Music. The website is HM, that's H as in Horizon, M as in music, and then the word network, hmnetwork.com. We're located out of the northwestern suburbs of Chicago.
And you can get all of these on the website?
Yes, you can. We've also got MP3 samples for downloading.
That's awesome. And yeah, listeners, this is very soothing and it makes nice background music.
Some people might consider it to be that, but there are some other titles here that are a little bit more intense, a little bit more industrial sounding. There's quite a bit of variety here. Now, the disc that we're currently hearing is by a French duo called Lightwave. And interestingly enough, this disc was originally released in the 1990s on the Hearts of Space record label. Before that record label ceased operations, we reissued it back in 2005, 2006. Some of the other artists that we're selling are British synthesist Steve Jolliffe, who had a couple of brief stints in Tangerine Dream, the German electronic rock duo. Also, interestingly enough, there's one disc here by the late, great Conrad Schnitzler, who was on the first Tangerine Dream album and is a big-time pioneer in the field of industrial and electronic music.
Right. Well, I'm going to let you get back to your table. Listeners, make sure you look for these awesome CDs and pick up some awesome space music.
You can look us up at hmnetwork.com.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, thank you for having me here.
So, standing at the table of Killers the card game with John, you can say your last name so I don't screw it up.
So it's Jeff Ignatowski.
I screwed it up anyway. Yeah, I don't know where the John came from, so...
It's okay, that's my confirmation name.
I'm looking at this table, and interest is definitely peaked. What's Killers the card game?
So Killers the card game is an RPG style game, kind of a cross between D&D and Magic the Gathering, where you get a stable of 5 killers. The goal is to get 10 kills or be the last killer standing. So you do that by abducting and killing your victims, by stopping everybody else that's playing the game and fucking them over as much as possible, and getting all of your kills before they can.
Well, and I'm seeing some familiar faces, Gacy and Dahmer and Bundy. And I'm wondering, has, the popularity of the game gone up since some of their, documentaries and stuff come out at all, or?
Absolutely. So, it goes up, and it kind of is, it goes up, but then there are also more people that come out of the woodwork that are now offended by all of the things, which is our lovely culture that we live in.
So where can people pick up this lovely dive down the rabbit hole of murderers and mayhem?
So we have a link tree, so you can go to linktree/KillersTCG. That will take you to all of our social media, our website, our clothing company called Killers Clothing Company, as well as everything else that we do.
And I noticed you have information about the Cold Case Foundation. Do you want to talk about that while we're here?
Yeah, so the Cold Case Foundation, they are a foundation that is out there trying to raise money so that they can equip the police to be able to go out there and solve a lot of these different cold cases. That way they are able to really give back and help the families find closure to a lot of these different cases that are out there. So we donate a portion of our proceeds to them because the game was always about awareness to begin with. We never want to glorify anything that any of these killers are doing, because let's face it, they're all pieces of shit to begin with.
No, exactly, right. And you can't go around glorifying pieces of shit, but you can make money off them and donate some of it to a good cause. So, listeners, head over to their link tree, pick up the game, and dive into the world of a serial killer.
Absolutely. Come and check it out.
I wrote Bloodlines as a standalone because all my other books, my epic fantasy, my military science fiction, my science fiction adventure, those are all either series or collections. I wanted to prove to myself I could put the whole story in one book, and I did that, and I was really happy for about 6 months.
I'm talking with Dennis Young, who you just heard say he put all of his story into one book, except 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. He doesn't say which one book he puts the story in. So now that you've heard about Bloodlines, let's talk about Julie.
Well, Julie is the book that was not supposed to have been written because Bloodlines was a standalone. But she kept talking to me. She said, "You told the story of who I was. Now you have to tell who I am." Bloodlines is Julie in 1944, World War II, the Normandy invasion. Julie is Julie today, 76 years later, still 16, still a vampire. And do you know what happens when you write one book that was not supposed to have been written? You write another one. So a character arises in the book Julie, and I said to myself, I can write a story about that character someday. Well, boom, less than a year later, I have a third book in what was not supposed to have been a series, but has turned out to be.
So, as an author, which do you prefer more, like the horror, the sci-fi, the military, the I guess medieval fantasy?
Yes, it's epic fantasy. It's just somewhere between Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones. I just don't kill everybody. So. That's a hard question because my usual favorite is the one I'm working on at any given time. But if I was going to pick one series that I had the most fun writing, I would probably have to say my military science fiction, because I wrote it with no filter.
And where can listeners order your book set? Because I mean, there's a lot to choose from.
I'm on Amazon. You can get me on Amazon, either paperback or Kindle. All of my books are on Kindle except the compendiums, which have a lot of art and small pictures, and it doesn't transfer real well to Kindle. Or you can contact me directly through my website, www.authordennisyoung.com, and I will sell you the books over my website. I take PayPal online. I will sign the books and send them to you.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Dennis. This has been fun. Got to keep meandering and see what other kind of trouble I can get into.
Well, I'm sure you can find some trouble to get into, too. Thanks a lot for stopping by.
So we couldn't go through day one without stopping by to hear the voice of Scarefest, the man behind the announcements, the host of Scarefest TV, Mr. Wes Forsythe.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. And I hope you got to enjoy the show, too, because I didn't. I'm working my rear end off.
Yep.
Trust me,
it's gone.
It was gone.
So I'm walking my ass off. A lot going on this weekend. Like, what are you most excited about?
Going home at this point. I am tired. I'm going to admit it. Actually, I hate to admit it, I'm going to be making my Scarefest karaoke premiere tonight. I've only sang karaoke, if you want to use the real name, once in my life. And yes, I was drunk then too. But tonight, I have committed to singing Shania Twain's "I Feel Like a Woman," and
I'll join you.
Okay, cool, great. And Jake Godbold, one of our fans, has made me promise that I will sing a duet with him, but he won't even clue me in on it. But I do have plans on doing at least a little bit of karaoke. Now, you've heard my voice. This is as good as it gets. I don't have a singing voice.
Well, I was talking with Scarioki's co-host, Rob Mello, earlier.
Yeah.
And just a forewarning to anyone, he did threaten to beat up anybody who drunkenly sings Strawberry Wine.
I wouldn't do that. No, this goes back to the Blues Brothers when they sang Stand By Your Man.
Right, yeah.
And I said, well, okay, I can't just copy them, but what is the most feminine song that I can think of?
Man, I Feel Like a Woman every time. No, you're right. Yeah, and it's become like a karaoke classic, and it's always guys. So
okay, well, I hate to copy everybody, but you do what you do.
Right. So this is 14 years.
Yes, we've been doing this con 14 years. Of course, now I've been here everyone but the first year. I found out about second year, fell in love with it, been here ever since in one capacity or another. Started out as a guest, started renting a booth, and then next thing you know, I was here long enough, they said, hey, let us give you a job. So now I'm here. Now, we would have been on our 15th year by now, but COVID.
Womp womp.
Yeah.
And this convention's fucking huge.
This might be our best Friday ever. I'm going to tell you the truth. Because we're in the new convention center. Last year we had the floor plan laid out where it really the crowds it never seemed that crowded last year, especially on Friday. We had a few bottlenecks you're going to.
Of course.
But as far as the convention center itself, of course, it's all remodeled, all brand new. We decided our ticket sales would support it, that we could add some vendor space, bring in some extra vendors, and you can see the aisles, even the shopping aisles. It's not just Celebrity Row, which is, wow, it's really getting packed right now. We've got good traffic all through the building, and this is Friday. This is our slow day.
Day one.
This is slow day.
Yeah, anybody who's ever gone to a convention knows this.
Somebody asked me in one interview, said, well, what would you all do if Robert Englund canceled? And I said, don't you even say that.
We'd all change into our brown pants.
I got that reference.
But I'll catch back up with you after a while, Wes.
Great. I'm here all weekend.
Well, and
create new ones.
And what would a convention be without toys? And you have everything here from like Sailor Moon to Devil's Rejects. And I mean, there's just the variety of what you have just sitting here is phenomenal.
Thank
you. So you guys are D's Vintage Toys and Collectibles. Where are you guys located out of?
Oh, we're out of Indianapolis, Indiana.
And you guys sell online and stuff like that?
Yeah, D'sToyShop.com. We're on eBay and whatnot and Mercari. We use D's Toys Shop as our tag.
And you're going to be having another store soon.
Yeah. We're about to open up another store at our premium outlet mall in Edinburgh, along with brands like Nike and Adidas and stuff. So we're right next to the big dogs.
Well, and you're packed with NECA and stuff like that. So I mean, it's
oh yeah, from 70s to modern day. I mean, we do Star Wars, G.I. Joe, Transformers, Mask. We got comics and trading cards, Pokemon, Magic, up to present day, all the NECA, Mezco, McFarlane, stuff like that they're making out today.
So just looking at this, you're like a toy hunter's dream. I mean, you have this giant Freddy staring at me with like Urkel eyes. Like that looks like an old Urkel doll that they repainted to be Freddy.
Pretty much, yeah, it does, doesn't it? Yeah, it's from that same time frame. It's from the 90s, so
it's actually creepier than Freddy Krueger himself.
It is.
So, listeners, go online, check out their stuff, because this is just a fraction of what they have. So, good God.
Yes, thank you. Check us out.
So, listeners, I came around the corner and about lost my footing. It got a little slippery over here. You might say it got a little greasy, a little oily, a little greasy. Found Michael St. Michael's from the Greasy Strangler. Michael, how we doing?
That's debatable, but I'm doing rather well. It's been a very smooth event, and I'm really honored to be here and meet fans.
A very slick weekend?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. I find that I've been able to slide in and out of everything so far.
A lot of Greasy Strangler fans out here?
Seems to be 3 that I know of that came all at once. So we had a busy swamp.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I feel I have to give credit where credit is due. I learned about this movie. See, I learned about the Greasy Strangler through a friend of our show, and a good friend of mine, Mikey Taylor. He's like, you need to check out this movie. You need to check out this movie. He would not shut up about it. So finally I watched it to shut him up, and I'm like, oh, this is fucking great. So, what would you say was the funnest part about Greasy Strangler?
Rapping. When it was over, I really enjoyed doing this guy, whose name I can't remember, Jody. Because I didn't know I was Jody until the night before we shot it. Well, I didn't actually get a script until after I had the part. And I was just, frantically trying to learn what Big Ronnie was saying. And then when I heard I was Jody the next day, it got a little weird because I hadn't read any Jody. And it was more fun to shoot because everything fell off all the time. Whatever take we had, either a nail came off, the mustache fell off, the teeth fell out. It was just, it was a real big
Speaking of weird to shoot, I'm looking at your pictures here, and there's one that just kind of hangs out in front of the crowd. It's not even that one. It's how awkward was it filming with I guess not so little Michael hanging out?
Well, it wasn't bad. It was like, they asked me if I'd do nudity, and I've never done it before, but I said, sure, I don't care as long as I don't have to look at it. I didn't realize how many times I see this thing. But then The first time I saw it, I was appalled because you have an image in your head, and that wasn't what I saw on the screen. But by the next day, I thought, well, in 10 years, I'm going to wish I looked that good. You know?
That's something that will forever be immortalized. That at one point, that's where you're sitting.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a blast. I'm going to let you get back to doing you, and I'll connect with you again in the future.
Please do. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Around the corner, and I see actor James Stokes. I apologize. Jeez, I am terrible with names today. Reuion from Hell 1, Reuion from Hell 2, Hell's Half Acre, Adrenaline, 13 Slays to Xmas, which I need to have you on to talk about at some point, but more on that later. Macabre, Jason Voorhees, Night of the Beast, and you have a movie premiering tomorrow night.
I do. It's called Slasherverse, and it is a combination of 5 different movies from Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, Scream, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's going to be premiering at 11:30 tomorrow night in the theater here in Lexington, Kentucky.
And in a nutshell, like, what's it about?
In a nutshell, it's 5 short films featuring all the killers, the main killers in horror today, which is Freddy and Michael and Jason and Ghostface and Leatherface. And so it's just 5 short films that's been put together in about a 15 to 17 minute film for each one, put all into one. So,
and looking at the table, you don the iconic hockey mask of Jason Voorhees. What's that been like? I mean, you talk about picking up iconic roles. Stepping into that kind of character, it's pretty intense.
Absolutely. Being able to play this character that does not speak, you have to show everything through emotion and through the way you walk, the way you kill someone, the way you... just the mannerisms of Jason. I talked to Kane Hodder about a year ago, maybe a little more, and he was kind enough to explain how he did it, how he walked, how he did all of the stuff. So that kind of helped me. Plus, I went back and watched every Friday the 13th there was out, just to get the mannerisms of the Jasons throughout the years. I did put my own spin to it because I am my own actor and I take my characters very seriously, and I turn them into what James Stokes wants that character to be. And so far it's worked out for me very well. I was very humble to get to play this part. It is a very iconic horror character that everyone knows just by the mask alone. So it was very humbling to me to be able to play this part.
And you're not a small dude. I mean, you're pretty jacked.
I work out. I'm 51 years old, so I have to stay in the gym. I stay in the gym 6 days a week just to stay competitive with the market. I am a professional actor. That's all I do now. I no longer have any other job. So if I want to stay competitive, I have to look the part.
You look it.
Oh, thank you.
But
thank you so much.
Thank you. So just kind of walking around here again, and who do I find but friend of the show and multiple time guest from Reuion from Hell and Reuion from Hell 2, Hayden Newman.
Hi everybody, how are y'all?
So how's the convention going for you so far? How's everything going?
It's been going really good. A lot of people have learned about the film that didn't know. A lot of them are very interested and excited to see the second film and have picked up the first film. It's been very good.
And then tonight you have a big reunion Q&A with you and Chris and Danny and Lisa Wilcox, which we'll get some audio on that later. But how's that feeling? I mean, this everybody from set getting back together, just kind of bullshitting about the film.
It's exciting, for us all to be able to talk with a group of fans, and a lot of Nightmare on Elm Street fans, of course, are here because of who all's here this weekend, and it's exciting for them to learn about the film that didn't know.
Right. I say this whole weekend is like a reunion. I mean, there's the Hills Have Eyes reunion, the Nightmare reunions. I mean, there's Friday the 13th reunions. There's reunions all over the fucking place. But Reuion From Hell 2 should be coming out, say, Christmassy?
Yes, definitely. We are in editing. If you haven't checked out the music video yet for the official theme song, check it out. I'm very happy for the band Fire Tiger. It's become a hit for them. And that song's called Reuion From Hell, obviously, Reuion From Hell. So, an exclusive clip that nobody has seen. And y'all are also going to see a trailer for the film. Then we're going to come in and we're going to do the Q&A. And after that, y'all will see one more thing. So, enjoy.
Danny and Lisa, so this was the first time, if I'm right, the first two that you've been on screen together since Nightmare on Elm Street?
That's true. Yeah, so it was a little kind of a reunion for Nightmare on Elm Street because Mark Patton is in the film as well. Mm-hmm. And even though we weren't in the same movie as Mark, but it was like a little Nightmare on Elm Street reunion.
Yeah, the three of us.
Yeah.
So much fun. Oh, now we can get the party started.
Now we have the lights up.
You're right. We haven't worked together since Nightmare, so it was kind of fun.
And we've seen each other from the conventions, sure. And then Danny, I did a YouTube show. I don't know if you've seen it, and I visited at previous locations where we filmed Nightmare 4. And so you met me, you drove your bike. You met me at the fountain in Los Feliz, and so we had screen time together in that, but not acting together, you know.
And then you said you watched the previous. When you looked at the character as playing that, did you, as trying to recreate what this other actress had done, or I'm sure you're going to spin on it. Did you look at it as like a biopic, as saying I need to I'm playing this character and now I need to play that character, or how did you attack that?
It really was. I watched it, but I played me. You know what I mean? And 100%. Yeah, and Laurel goes through. Now with the second one, time has passed, and so Laurel has, as we say, gotten over the horrible incident that happened in one. And so it was, to me, I looked at it as Laurel has matured during that 2-year period, let's say, between 1 and 2.
Yeah, it's a 2-year contract.
Yeah, but it was very interesting because I couldn't help but think of, Tuesday Night, who reprised the role of Kristen from 3, which was played by Patricia Arquette. But being in that situation was very interesting. So, but I think it plays out.
It does, and I worked a lot with Lisa and took her suggestions, and I let Lisa do with the character what she wanted to do. I let Lisa give suggestions and say, well, I think Laura would say it this way, or, we worked together on how Laura would be 2 years later. So she took Laurel and made her her own.
Yeah.
So not only do the Hills have eyes, the convention has eyes as well, because here is Mr. Michael Berryman.
Yeah, good evening, good afternoon, or whatever time of day you're hearing this, but it's Friday right now and we're packed.
I say it is an amazing day one for a convention. I mean, you do a lot of these. I mean, this is a phenomenal day one.
It's incredible. Well, we can get out of the house. Everything was shut down due to COVID, but you know what? We're still kicking it. And this show, Scarefest, has been. It just grows every year because they do it right. They treat the fans right, and it's just fantastic.
Oh yeah, and of course you're here this year for the little Hills Have Eyes reunion. I mean, you have Dee Wallace to your right.
Janice Blythe.
Janice Blythe is like, I'm drawing a blank. I know the name. It's right there on the tip of my tongue. But yeah, Hills Have Eyes reunion. I mean, it's God. Did you guys ever think that it would be this? Here we are, all these years later, still talking. The Hills Have Eyes.
Well, Wes was just brilliant, and we didn't have much of a budget. We actually shot this in Super 16, and when it came out time to put it in on a DVD, some of the film stock was deteriorating, so they put the word out to all the drive-ins all across the country, and that we actually found one. I think it was in Kentucky. And underneath the screen there's a long corridor, and it was just the right humidity and temperature to preserve all the film that was in these stackable film cans, and a guy went and he looked, he says, I have one, it's in perfect condition. So Wes put one of the people in his office on a plane, picked it up the next day and sent it off to Anchor Bay, I think, is the ones that did the first DVD pressing.
So
And
talk about
they
the
saved
need
it.
for. So yeah, talk about the need for a red eye. It's like, oh, you have it. Hold on, I'll be right there.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, he would have put him on a private jet if he had
Oh
to.
yeah.
You go.
So, not only you have Pluto from The Hills Have Eyes, but arguably your other like big iconic role is Cleavon. I mean, out of those two, which do you get recognized more from? Devil's Rejects or Hills Have Eyes?
Well, Hills Have Eyes because it's had a longer shelf life. Working with Rob is great. He's got a good eye for camera. I love the ending. Freebird. The suicide doors on the car. His peck and polish, very nice. The character was kind of pigeonholed, I would say. I think Pluto had a bigger range as far as the entire script, and we had a subsequent, part two. But I would say Hills is my favorite because it was right after I did Cuckoo's Nest, and it's the first time I was ever on a lobby car on poster. And also that poster is in the cabin on the wall in Evil Dead, which is kind of cool and groovy.
Right, it's just kind of a nice big metaverse.
Yeah, it is. It is. I got to do Joe Bob Briggs' show in Texas. The guy's delightful, very knowledgeable. And I've been doing this for 40 years, and what I enjoy about it most is the fans, people I get to meet, and you meet people that have maybe 2 or 3 generations, and it's fun to have them explain to me what it was like when their children or grandchildren saw the movie, because things are different today as far as technology and storytelling, but I would say Hills Have Eyes has longevity because it's lean.
Yeah. Well, you're starting to have a line for them, so I'm going to not take up too much more of your time. I hope you have a phenomenal weekend.
It's been terrific.
Hopefully I'll have you on the show as a proper guest sometime, and we can talk about all of your projects.
We could do that. I actually have my memoir. If you go to TikTok, michaelberryman.official, I've got a bunch of videos there, and then also one posting where I read a couple pages from my memoir, which is just at the point now where I'm tidying up with my publisher and editor. So as soon as it's available, hopefully sooner than later, I'll let the whole world know, and yourself.
Oh, then we'll definitely have you back on. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I found Mr. Bill Mosely, Chop Top, Otis, among many, many characters. How we doing?
Doing well. Happy to be here in beautiful Lexington, Kentucky at Scarefest.
Looking at all the pictures you have on your table and going through your IMDb, you've run the gamut from kids' movies and Disney to horror. Do you have a preference, or do you just sign the check and pay me?
I actually do have a preference. I mean, I prefer movies that aren't just mean-spirited. They have to have a sense of humor, at least my characters. I'm not really big on, movies that exploit women, for that matter, although a lot of women have died under my watch, I gotta say. But with dignity, damn it.
Right.
And, I don't really, certainly not into hurting animals. So other than that, give me any kind of, people. I'm happy to, subject them to the chainsaw or the claw hammer, straight razor.
And which one do you get recognized more for? Would it be Texas Chainsaw or Devil's Rejects, do you think, of the two?
It's a real toss-up. I mean, Chop Top and Otis seem to be the, neck and neck for the most popular characters.
They could almost be brothers.
It's possible. Yeah, could be. And I'm sure that Chainsaw inspired Rob Zombie.
Oh, definitely.
Especially when you have an old dark house movie like House of a Thousand Corpses.
Oh, most definitely. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to let you get back to making money.
All right.
I'm going to get back to walking and meandering.
Walking and talking. Well, I'm glad this
So-
is a recording device. I thought maybe you had a heart monitor.
It's a really big heart monitor. Big guy, big heart monitor.
I was thinking it was, you just kind of give yourself a little, little boost.
Right? You're not the only one. So, it's surprising. You're walking around a horror convention and you don't expect to run into John Wayne, but found one, and he's an author.
Surprise, surprise, surprise! That's right, I'm John Wayne. That's my first name, and that's what you call me. My last name is Comunale. It means community in Italian. Not related. I write psychological horror, and you're here to talk to me about it.
It's definitely psychological. I mean, just the cover art definitely brings you in. What kind of stories are you telling?
So, I cut my teeth as a kid on Outer Limits and Twilight Zone and even Amazing Stories. So I really like the kind of storytelling where you're like, it was about that the whole time, like that kind of stuff. So that's what I write about. For instance, As Seen on TV is one of my books here on the table. It's about a serial killer named Marty who's obsessed with As Seen on TV products. In that, he has to own and collect them all. So it's not about him killing people or being a killer, it's about his obsession. This obsession manifests itself physically, and now he has to deal with that. So maybe he's not as slick as he thinks he's been all these years.
I just got this image of a guy trying to go around and kill somebody with a ShamWow.
Wow. And that's the thing. He's not killing people with the products, but he just has to collect them. And I did a bunch of research on the history of As Seen on TV and the products and how the company actually works. And so for the first half of the book, all of the products are 100% real, but then they start to get more magical realism attached to the products after a while. So they get more ridiculous.
Nice.
Please make your way
And
to the
there's
hallway
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 titles currently that you have available?
I have 13 titles available.
Just 6 on the...
I just have 6 on the table. No, that's okay. I have 6 on the table. My 13th novel is called Deadline. It just came out last week. I just am on the road constantly, so I'll pick up the shipment of it next week when I swing back through Vegas. But yeah, check that out, Deadline. It's fucking my newest. It's badass. I'm really proud of it. It's about a voice artist who, is a little greedy and a little lazy, and has to end up paying for it.
I think we all know a few people like that.
Yeah, greedy and lazy. So, check it out. But I have 13 novels. I just have 6 here, and I also play in a punk rock band from Las Vegas called John Wayne is Dead. We're 1, 2, 3, 4 Ramon style Misfits, quick, fast, 2-minute songs.
Oh, nice. So where can people order your books and check out the band?
If you go to johnwayneisdead.com, you
Tomorrow will be much busier, so don't miss your chance for the short line.
edit point. No, johnwayneisdead.com is actually where you can get to everything I do. You can get my books from there, and I will sign them, and I send extra artwork and things like that. But you can also get them on Amazon. You can get them anywhere you get books from. And I just appreciate any and all support. The music is also the vinyl are all available on my website, but we're on every streaming service that you have out there. So just search John Wayne is Dead, all one word, no spaces. But johnwayneisdead.com has the links to everything.
Oh, hell yeah. Well, John Wayne, this has been fun, and I hope you have a good weekend.
I will, absolutely. Thanks for hanging out and talking to me for a bit.
Hell yeah. So as we've mentioned before, it's a lot of reunions going on here this weekend, and one of them is a Nightmare reunion, and from Nightmare on Elm Street 4, the lovely Toy Newkirk.
Oh, hello, the big moose.
So how are we doing? How's the show been for you this weekend?
Well, What a fabulous show. It's been so much fun. Busy all day, have a little carpal tunnel from signing so much, but everyone here at Kentucky Lexington's been really gracious, really warm, inviting, and just great stories. I love when fans come up and tell us how we inspired them. It's been fun.
And what's kind of like this, because I've been seeing them pop up a lot this year, like this reunion tour. What's it kind of been like getting together with all these guys again, just hanging out, bullshitting, and reconnecting?
It's the best part of the cons. I mean, we didn't see each other for a long time, and then there was I guess in 2014, 2015, we started doing cons, the 6 of us, sometimes the 8 of us, meaning Rodney and Ken, we're missing them. But then after COVID hit, and then we really haven't seen each other as a group. The girls have gone out, right? They've had the Ladies of Nightmares, but we miss our dudes. They help us carry our bags. they walk us down the street. We love our Andros and Danny, so it's been fun.
Well, and in the case of Danny, you get cheap entertainment, so...
Yeah, you do. Have you interviewed him yet? Fuck yeah, he's a nutcase. And then after the cons, meeting you and hanging out with Denise and just getting to meet some good people, and just the best part is the con, it's great, but it's the afterwards where we get to sit around a fire pit with Robert Patrick and Lance Henderson and Robert Englund and yourselves, and it's just a mix of people, and it just feels good. It's fun.
Just get to sit around, hang back, and have a good time. Well, I'm going to let you get back to doing what you're doing, and I'll probably pop in and out throughout the day because last day to hang out with you. So
Fun hanging out with you, Moose. Thank you so much. You gave me your chicken tender the first night I was starving, and on the last night I was starving, you were there too.
So I'm a people magnet, and I make people starve.
Yeah.
This is a weird weekend.
You share the food with people who are starving. Had you had food last night, you would have given it to me.
You're right.
Yes. All right, it's nice seeing you, Moose.
Yep. I've seen a lot of things at conventions, but I've never turned a corner to a wolf, and I needed to find out more. So can you tell me why am I looking at a wolf?
I'm Karen. I'm with Wolf Run Wildlife Sanctuary. We're in Jessamine County in Kentucky. And what we do is we take in animals that people probably shouldn't have had in the first place. We've taken wolf dogs, bobcats, coyotes, white-tailed deer that people have tried to keep as pets, and it usually doesn't work out. So we have a sanctuary that those animals can then find a home in. So we have Nayeli here, who absolutely has always loved people, loved being out, loves taking pictures with people, doing conventions, educational programs. We've gone to schools and colleges to teach people about wildlife, and she makes a great ambassador for what we're doing. So she takes pictures with people, and we raise money for our sanctuary.
I say she seems pretty, tame and comfortable around people. A lot better than most dogs I know.
Yeah, so we rescued Nayeli. The police made a man that was illegally breeding them. A few got out and got shot and killed, unfortunately. So he had to give up all of his animals, and they were 5 2-week-old puppies. So I had Nayeli and bottle raised her from the time she was 2 weeks old, and we've been training and working with people ever since, and she absolutely loves it.
That's awesome. Where can listeners donate if they so see fit?
Yeah, they can go to wolfrun.org, and they can also go to Wolf Run Wildlife Refuge fan page on Facebook and make donations there.
You heard it, folks. Go donate and watch for the picture, because this wolf is a beauty. We've talked about the movie, this movie, and the other counterparts on the podcast a lot, but I've now come across Mr. Tom Matthews, primarily known for Tommy Jarvis. Tom, how you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you.
How's the convention going for you so far?
Oh, fantastic. One of the best ones in my 12 years of doing it. A great turnout. Everyone's real nice and very professional.
What's it like returning to Tommy Jarvis in Never Hike Alone all these years later?
It was a natural progression. Vincent DeSanti wrote a great script, and I actually signed on after I had seen the first half of it already, and I, normally wouldn't have done that because it was a fan film, but the production value was so amazing, and the kid was great in it, and so I signed on to do it.
Have you started filming 2 yet, or is it just in production?
We've done, we did the trailer about a month ago in Portland, and this is October, so we did it in September, and then it's going to drop on Friday the 13th. The next Friday the 13th is in January of 2023, and it's the teaser, and it's also the opening of the movie, the beginning of the movie.
So looking forward to it. I'm going to let you get back to doing what you do, and I'm going to take off, and I'll get you on sometime, and we'll dig deeper into your career.
That sounds awesome. Great seeing you. Thanks for coming over.
Well, folks, that's going to do it for our trip to Scarefest. Hope you enjoyed the interviews. Join me next month when I do a deep dive into the new vomit-inducing hit, Terrifier 2. Check out all the links in the episode description. You want to find me and other great podcasters, head over to electronicmediacollective.com or just me at Moose Media Inc. on Twitter and Facebook. Till next time, Horror Hounds, mash on.
This has been Moose's Monster Mash. Come back for more chills and thrills if you dare.